Good morning, Jan and Anne. Good morning, Joni. Good morning, Janet and Therese. Good morning, Denise. Good morning, Gloria. Good morning. So Facebook has made a change. Good morning, Charlene. At one point, the only way that I could know if you were here is if you made a comment. Now, as you log on, it sends me a message. So I know Darlene is here and Elizabeth is here. This is awesome. I don't look that much older. I'd say shut up, but that is so rude. Good morning, Marnie. Oh. Good to see you all back. Good morning, Brenda. Good morning, Connie. So a couple of things about exercise this week. We're going to be starting at 120 beats per minute. Sessions will be a little bit shorter than normal because I know although some of you have been doing this during the hiatus, some of you have not. And I don't think we should be going full steam ahead right to start. That is not a good practice. I've even lowered the weight on my hand weights. Other than a little bit of tennis, to be honest, I haven't been working out every day by any means. So I also need to get back into this groove. Good morning, Sandy and Christine. So, as always, good morning, Jan and Heather. Do what you are able to do. Modify as necessary. We're going to go low and slow today. And so we have 3 sessions planned this week, Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And for the next little while, I think that's what we're going to do is 3 sessions a week, at least this week and definitely next week. We'll see how it goes from there. And this whole session is going to be 7 weeks long. Good morning, Cisco. That takes us to the week before Christmas. And then I'm going to take another short break. I will be back in the new year very quickly because of Christmas and turkey and just need to do it. All of our videos, as far as I know, will be posted to Facebook until they decide they don't want them anymore. And I will be posting them to YouTube. And how that is going to work is when I finish saving them here, I will upload them to YouTube. And then YouTube usually waits 12 to 18 hours to let you publish them. I will put the links back here in Facebook. Okay, who do I have to say hello to? Hello, Kathy. So that's the plan. So if for some reason you can't watch them here, or if Facebook decides they're going to mute the music again, hopefully I can grab them before that happens and put them on YouTube and you can watch them. And that being said, morning, Mary, let's get started. And as always, morning, Diane, we start with our march. If you have not been doing this regularly, especially, take it easy this morning. And let's roll those shoulders back. I need a thumbs up or something about the volume. I'm using a different phone. And alternate. Thank you, whoever that was. And roll those shoulders forward. And alternate. And back to your march. Up and down with the shoulders. Morning, Helen. And forward and back. And let's bring those arms in. And out. And wrists. And let's wiggle those fingers. Good morning, Corley. And fingers and fists. And back to your march. Let's do our hula. Get those arms involved. Changing that direction. Morning, Lori. And back to your march. Very, very light hamstring curls. Morning, Janet. Back to your march. Toe tap. Left and right on that heel. Change that to a heel tap. Left and right on the toes. Go to a heel tap on the other foot. Left and right on those toes. Change that to your toe tap. And left and right on that heel. And back to our march. So that's our warm-up. This is something you should be doing every single morning. Whether I'm here or whether you do it with a class that's being saved, with or without music, get all those joints nice and limber. Let's bring those knees up just a little bit higher. Morning, Peggy. We're going to take 4 steps forward, ending on a heel, and then 4 steps back with a toe. Looks like this. 1, 2, 3, heel. Hi, Susan. Let's lean back on that heel and forward on that toe. We're going to change the forward foot. When I started this, I started walking forward with my right foot. I'm going to change and go to walking forward with my left foot. Here we go. And back to your march. Let's quickly talk about water and drinking. Drink often. Drink before you think you need it, like I'm going to do now. Every single part of your body needs hydration, except maybe your hair. We're going to go with a simple heel forward. You'll notice I'm not doing a lot of bounce in this today. It's been a while since I've done any kind of routine. And I don't want to push the joints any more than necessary until I get used to this again. I'm going to add the arms. Bring those shoulder blades right back. For those of you that are new, you'll hear me use a term, we're going to double that. That means we're going to do the same motion 2 times in a row. So we're going to double it right here. Then we go back to singles. And back to our march. Going off to the side so I can do a 4-step and then a 4-step back. Looks like this. I missed my beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Add a clap. We're going to add a kick. Just light. We're going to change that to a light hamstring curl. Right here. Back to your march. Well, we don't have a gray sky today, but we've got brown leaves. Let's bring those knees up nice and high. We're going to double this motion. Back to singles. And back to our march. Let's get into a little bit of boxing. Hi, Marie. The other term you'll hear me say is bring it up to pace. So with our boxing right now, this is basically a half pace. When I say bring it up to pace, it looks like this. Now, with all of our exercises, when we bring them up to pace, or when we double them, if you are not comfortable with that, don't do it. Do what you are comfortable with. So if this is too fast for you, you go back to half pace. It all works. Back to pace. Let's punch up nice and tall. And bring it back down. Tighten those tummy muscles and punch down. Hi, Patricia. We're going to change these punches into uppercuts. And we're going to bring this up to pace. Stephanie, where are you that you have snow and ice? I know my sister said she had snow up in Pembroke. Up nice and tall. Hi, Lori. And bring it back down. Hi, Sharon. When we bring these punches down low, let's bend our knees a little bit. And back up. And I'm going for another drink. Okay. I think we got the southern end of that snowfall here yesterday. It didn't stay, of course. So you probably got the middle of it. We're going to do what's called a roundhouse. Bring those arms around the body. I don't have to do comments though, Joni. I can just do marks. Let's bring it up tall over our heads. And back to your march. Let's get those knees up nice and high. What we're going to do is we're going to march and widen our stance. As we widen, it's less about the legs and more about rocking. A little bit more. And let's work our way back in. And back out. And back in about halfway. We're going to do our squats. The thing to remember with squats, I guess. Torso and head stay tall. Don't bend at the waist like this. It's straight down. If this is difficult for you, make sure you have a chair handy, and you can use the chair for balance and support. And back to our march. And just because Cisco's here, we have to grapevine. I'm going to start on this side. And we're going to do it very slow for the new people so everybody learns how to grapevine properly. Looks like this. It's out, in front, out, behind, out, together. Out, front, out, back, out, together. Everybody got it? Here we go. And if we all had our cameras on, I'm sure what I'd be getting is this. And that's okay. The key to this is whatever you're doing, don't stop. Keep movement. You want to keep that heart rate up at a fairly high rate. That's the whole point of this section of the class. Just a nice light kick out front. We're going to double that motion. Hello, Carol. I think we should all do this on Zoom one day so we can all see each other. We can all have a good giggle. Back to your march. So as I mentioned at the beginning, this week everything's going to be a little bit shortened because a lot of people have not been doing this on a regular basis, myself included. I've been bad. So we're just going to get our bodies reconditioned to what we were doing before the break. So let's do our cool down. Toe tap both sets of feet. Heel tap both sets of heels. Both sets of heels. That doesn't make any sense at all. And we're going to alternate. Get those hips moving. Back to a light march. And light hamstrings. So just to let you know how bad I've been, my Apple Watch just told me that I set a new movement record for the week. So last week wasn't very good, I guess. Motorcycle riding doesn't count. Back to our march. This time when we do the hula, we forget the music. We make the motions as big as we can. So way out back, way out to the side, way out front. And then changing that direction. Back to your march. And fingers. We're going to snap those fingers, every single one of them, whether they make sound or not. Then just press each finger into the pad of your thumb. And back to our march and wrists. I know, we were very young together at one point, Lori. Now, you can't tell any stories about me on here. It's not allowed. Bring those arms in. And bring those arms out. Back to your march. Shoulders up and down. Forward and back. And roll them back. And forward. We're going to take a quick drink, and then we're going to explain about the equipment we have, because I know some of you are new and you may not have the equipment. And equipment may not be available to you depending on where you live and your availability to go out and shop, but we can do alternates. So one of the things we use, and keep moving while I'm talking, is we use an exercise ball about this size, although it can be any size. Any bigger than this, though, it becomes very hard for some of the exercises we can do. You can certainly do smaller. If you can't find a ball like this at Dollar Tree or Dollarama, places like that, a rubber ball. Remember the ones we used to play with, the red, white, and blue? Any kind of something that you can put pressure on and squeeze. We also use hand weights. These you can usually pick up at Dollarama on Google usually carries these. Walmart carries these. Canadian Tire every once in a while. Winners will have these in their exercise section. If you can't find hand weights, and you're not going to run out shopping in the near future, and I'm not necessarily encouraging that, find anything that has some weight. Cans of tomato sauce. Big cans of soup. Basically anything. Small children are really good. They might be a little bit heavy though. And the last thing we use is called a resistance band. These come in various colors. Once again, Winners, Walmart, places like that. The different colors are different strengths. Gray is the second highest, black is the highest. If you can't find something like this, bungee cords, just anything that has a spring, nylons, a pair of tights, leggings, something that has some kind of spring and resistance. And since I have these in my hand, we're going to start with these. So the closer your hands are together, the more resistance you have and the more of a workout it is. And we're just going out and in. As you're doing this, you want to keep tension both directions, out and in. You do not want it flopping like this. We have enough on our bodies that flop like this as it is. You want to keep tension both directions. You use a different set of muscles each direction. Triceps going out, biceps coming in. A lot of our exercise will do what I call a 4 count, which means you'll probably hold a position for 4 counts. It's like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. As we do this, you're coming in slowly. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, I'm going to get this a little bit tighter. One hand is about my belly button. These are basically a bicep curl. So today's session, I won't be using a chair with any of the equipment. I will be on Wednesday just to show the different exercises we can do. In the meantime, if you find that you need a lot of modifications for whatever reason, if you go through to the top of the Facebook page and it says search Fitness World or whatever it's called, type in modifications. There's a whole session with modifications for everything we do. Well, almost everything we do. Changing that upper hand. I'm doing a lot of talking today. Bringing those hands back horizontal. Stretch as far as you can. We're going to do one of the favorites that everybody has here, and this is the one that gets everybody complaining because size does matter. And if they have a really long resistance band, they complain about this. Holding it in one hand using just your fingers and your thumbs, you gather it up. And once it's there, you do what's called pulsing. You squeeze it in time to the music. Then we do what's called a squeeze and a release. It looks like this. Squeeze, release, squeeze, release, squeeze. When we do a 4 count on this one, we're holding it in for 4 full beats as hard as we can. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, release. 1, 2, 3, 4, release. 1, 2, 3. Then grab an end, switch hands, and gather it up again. And once you get there, you start pulsing. And we pulse for a while, give everybody a chance to catch up. Let's do our squeeze and release. Here we go. Squeeze, release, squeeze, release. Back to pulsing. Then we do our 4 count. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, release. 1, 2, 3, 4, release. Now don't throw this one out. Keep it in a ball between both hands. Let's ring it out. Then keeping where your hands are, you're going to pull out. and we are done with the resistance band. I'm going to get a quick drink, and we're going to go to the exercise ball. And just taking it in one hand and pulse. If you don't have anything handy, find a pair of socks that you've rolled up. Just squeeze those. And we're going to do the same thing with the squeeze and release. Squeeze, release, squeeze, release. Uh-oh, or you can throw the ball away and chase it. I did that so the rest of you wouldn't feel embarrassed when it happens to you. And pulse. 4 count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Release. 1, 2, 3, 4. Release. 1, 2, 3. Other hand. Pulse. And throw it away again. This is what happens when I use the resistance band before this. The resistance band has some cornstarch on it, makes everything slippery. Thank God it wasn't hand weights. Let's do our squeeze and release. Here we go. Squeeze. Thank you, Heather. And pulse. 4 count, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, release. 1, 2, 3, 4, release. 1, 2, 3, 4, release. Place that ball between both your hands, palms only, no fingers, no thumbs, and pulse in. And squeeze, release, squeeze. Pulse. Four count. 1, 2, 3, 4, release. 1, 2, 3, 4, release. 1, 2. The next one, depending on your ability and balance, you may want to do this in a chair. It can be done in the chair. It's called a figure 8 by raising your legs off the ground. Looks like this. Now we'll do the same thing, but we keep the legs stationary, and it's a bob and a weave. It looks like this. Last one with the ball is around the body. Change directions. We are done with the exercise ball for today. Quick drink. We're going to the hand weights. Now we're doing bicep curls. If you want to, you can bring this up to pace. The motions are a little bit shorter. So a bicep curl, you need to make sure your palms are facing you. This works the bicep, but it also works the tendons, ligaments in the wrist. Because you have to keep everything kind of steady. We're going to change this to a hammer curl. This means your weights are turned towards you, so the palms are facing each other. Now we're going to bring this one up tall. Do not hit yourself. Everybody laughs when I say this, but I've seen it happen. People forget how big the weights are, or maybe how big their ears are. Bringing it back down. Now we're going to stand stationary. Feet are about hip width apart. You're going to bring those weights back as far as you can. And then very, very slow, we're coming forward. Leave them at your sides and bringing them up. Palms are down towards the floor. Turning the palms up. Now the next one we're going to do works on the core, on the ab. You need to be very careful of this if you've never done this before. I would recommend going to one weight if you're not used to this. But what we do is same thing, hip width apart, and we come across the body while keeping the torso tall. When we change sides, we do it when the weights are the lowest. We come across the body, and then up onto the other side. Then just leaving your weights at your side. I want you to go up on your toes. Once again, this is a balance issue for some people, but I want you to go up on your toes and down nice and slow. That extra weight added to this is great for your calves, your plantar fascias. We are done with hand weights and all equipment today. We'll be adding more to it on Wednesday and Thursday. But from here, we go into our stretching, our balance, and our breathing. So give me a moment to get a drink. I have to change the music and get yourself a chair. That's just a little bit loud and fast for what we're going to do. So what we do here, we do slow. This is part of our stretching. You never stretch first, ever. It's a good way to tear things, rip things. You need to warm up first, and then when all the muscles and ligaments are all warmed up, then you can stretch. Okay? So we're going to start with a simple stretch. I'm going to hang on to the chair for balance, and the leg comes forward. The leg comes back. You'll notice the torso stays tall. Then the same motion, but out to the side. You're trying to keep that torso centered. From here, I'll go to a hamstring curl. Be careful of this, and everything we do is slow, including the release. So when I release this, I don't just let the leg drop. It's done very controlled, and then I go to a heel. Help stretch that calf out. Then I do it again. I'm going to the other side. We'll repeat everything on the other side. Side. Then our hamstring. Same thing when you release, it's done very slowly. Let's stretch the upper body a little bit. When you go to stretch, do not grab an elbow, do not grab a shoulder, you never grab a body joint ever. So I'm grabbing between the two. And there's just a slight pressure pulling towards me. And to the other side. I'm going to bend at the waist, and I'm just going to let gravity do what gravity does. Just going to dangle. There's no pressure, you're not pushing. And when you come up very slow. This stops what's called blood pooling, where all the blood rushes from your head and drops down to your feet and you get dizzy. If you do everything slow, you're good. There are two balance exercises that we do. We'll do one of them today. And I'm going to turn sideways so you can see it. But both feet are parallel. There's a little bit of space between them. As I bend the knees and go forward, the back heel will come up. When I come back and lean, the front toe will come up. So it looks like this. Once again, have the chair handy if you think you need it. Let's do 2 more of those. And then I'm going to change the forward foot. So this was my left foot forward. Now my right foot is forward. And we do the exact same thing. Back heel, front toe. Let's do 2 more. And before we get into the last portion, which is breathing properly, I try to give tips as I know about them. I'm going to go back to an old tip that most people that have been here for weeks know about it, and that's how to get in and out of a chair safely. As we age, we do things like we used to do 10, 20, 30 years ago, and our body doesn't move the same way as it used to. So getting in and out of chairs can be an issue. What most of us do when we get into a chair, or out of a chair, is our behinds and our backs are right against the chair, and we try to get out from here. So we end up hinging, and our body weight is still over our behinds. Very bad for your back, very bad for your balance. So what I would encourage you to do every single time you get in and out of a chair, scoot your bottom to the edge of the chair. Use your legs if you need to. Legs here, hinge. Now when I hinge, my body weight is over my feet, and I can stand straight up. Same thing when I go to sit down. I hinge if I need to. I sit at the front of the chair, make sure it's there. Nobody needs to see us sitting on the ground. And then scooch back if you need to. Same thing when you go to leave. We all have a bad habit. We do this, and we turn our body before our feet turn, and we end up injuring things. So if you're going to go to the left, turn your feet, then go. Same thing to the right. Turn your feet, then go. You're keeping your spine aligned. You're keeping your hips aligned, as opposed to doing this, which is never a good thing. You're welcome, Helen. Last thing today is breathing. Most of us do not breathe properly. We only use the top half of our lungs. And in this day of flu and COVID and everything, we need the healthiest lungs we can get, which means we have to use all of our lungs. Okay? So we take deep breaths. And if you watch most people when they breathe with their shoulders. It's this. They're using the top half. So I want you to breathe, think where your lungs are, and I want you to think getting full breaths. You're going to breathe in nice and slow with me, and then stop when you have your full breath. I'm going to make lots of sounds so you can hear it. Breathing in. You'll notice nothing moved except my tummy because the lungs are filling up with air. I'm going to do it again. Everybody exhale slowly. Breathe in. And out. Get rid of it all. You should be gasping for air when you're done. That way you know your lungs have fully deflated and it's ready to fill up properly again. Let's inhale and exhale. We'll add some arm movements to this, which will help. Arms move at the same speed as the breath. If your arms are up very quickly and you're still breathing in, you're not doing what you're supposed to do. So it looks and sounds like this. And out. So before you run away for the day, a couple of things. This video will be saved here on the page on Facebook. I will also be uploading it to YouTube, and when it finishes uploading and publishing, I will come back to Facebook and I'll put a link. Please do not share these links with anybody outside the group. We want this group and my YouTube videos to stay private to members of the group. Okay, more people are more than welcome to come join our group. We just don't want YouTube videos and everything flying out into the world. It just causes problems. So, have a great day. We'll see you at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday. Bye.